Okay. Who's here? Oh, Liana. I'm pumped. I'm getting us pumped up because it's Thursday, and that means Friday is tomorrow. Hello. Let me get my mic up here. I always forget to put my mic in the front. How are you today on Thursday? How are you today? Let me know. Am I live? Yes, I am. Hey, YouTube. Hey, Facebook. Hey, Twitter. Hey, Insta. Hey, everybody. You know how they always tell you, you keep doing something, it gets easier. Well, sometimes it doesn't. It's launch week. I'm trying to keep the hype going. Yesterday I almost fell down. I almost went to bed. I almost canceled. I was so tired, but we're back. We got the energy. I'm feeling good. Are you feeling good? We're going to talk about an interesting topic today, about dates and whether you should be using them, whether it is essential, whether it is a necessary step for you to move on. And I'm excited to talk about it. I don't know. I feel like, in your expertise, right? In your expertise, let me go here and start winding this down. In your expertise, you know a lot about a certain issue, but then there's that one topic where you're like, I'm an expert in this specific topic. And I feel like getting over breakups is my bread and butter, because that is where I made the most change in my life. That is where God met me where I was. And that is where the birth of this business and ministry came forth. Not to mention, I was a terrible ex-girlfriend. I was just crazy. It was a hot mess. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about whether or not what you should be doing is what you should be doing. What you think you should be doing is what you think you should be doing. We're going to talk about all that. Plus, any questions that you have. Any questions, comments, sometimes, especially when you're in this breakup or you're trying to get past, you're in this transition phase, if you will. There's a lot of lost vibes. There's a lot of confusion, if you will. And so we're going to get into all that. We're going to talk about it. What's up? How are you? Welcome. Big time fan. Thank you for big time, long time supporter. Thank you, Elijah. I believe you're on YouTube. Yeah. All right, guys. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. For those of you guys who don't know me, maybe you're just in passing. Maybe the topic struck you and you're like, ooh, I want to get into that topic. I want to hear what she has to say. So before I go further, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Selina Almodovar. Hey girl, hey. And I am a Christian relationship author and coach. I'm looking at two different cameras. Okay. So bear with me here. And what I do on this online business, this online platform, is I want to help women. I want to teach women. I want to show women. I want to encourage women. I want to inspire Christian women to apply their faith. Apply it. We know you have it. We know you're trusting God, but now I want you to apply that faith towards creating a desirable love life, creating the love life that you have been praying for, creating that relationship that you thought you were getting into. I want you to be able to take what you have with your personal relationship with God, and I want you to be able to take those lessons, take those experiences, take that trust, take that love, okay? And we're going to apply that into your love life. And that is what I do through videos, through these lives, and through my latest book, which I am currently promoting because it's launch week. Oh yeah, my latest book, Christian Dating Adventures, a Couples Guide. This is 65 fun, creative dates to connect and grow. This is for men and women. Usually I'm always speaking to the women, but men, this is for you too, because 9 times out of 10, the girls are like, I don't know what to do. You pick something. I don't know. So boom, here you go. I just hooked you up with 65 dates. That's at least 2 years worth of dates, because, we don't go on dates every single week. I mean, unless you do, then hey, more power to you. Invite me to the wedding. But this is a wonderful resource for both men and women. Whether it's you're dating someone for the first time, for the first couple months, or whether you've been married for years. I believe, as a person who has been talking about love and relationships and faith for almost 10 years now, I believe that one of the best things you can do for your relationship is go on dates. Why? Because dates are not meant for you to get to second base or third base or home. Dates are not meant for you to get any selfish gain. Dates are supposed to be an opportunity where you can get to learn more about the person that you are genuinely interested in. That is what it's for, because you want to grow your relationship. You want to invest in your relationship. And what better way to do that than by going to a place that's going to take you out of your comfort zone, that's going to allow you to talk about things that you wouldn't normally talk about, and that's going to have you get closer to this person. But with this book, you're also going to get closer to your faith. You're going to bring God back to the center, because I believe God should be at every part of your relationship, including every single one of your dates. I don't care if you're going to Applebee's. I don't care. I don't care if that's where you're going. God's going to be in the middle of that. He's going to be in them boneless buffalo wings. Okay. He's going to be in that conversation. How? This book is going to show you exactly how to do that. So we're going to talk today, all month, all season long, if you will. I've been trying to pull different parts of dating, the topics, the subtopics of dating. I've been talking about dating when you have kids, and dating when you're a professional, and dating when you're in a Christian, in a church setting was what we talked about yesterday. And I'm trying to get to all of these topics because I want to show you that in today's modern world, we have been conditioned to believe that dates are only about sex, or that dates are about gold diggers, or you have to have a certain dates are expensive. You have to have a certain cookie cutter blueprint of what your date should look like, what it should feel like, what it should involve, and what should be taken from it. And I want to dismiss that, if you will. I want to dismiss that, and I want to replace everything that you thought we should have had with what God intended it to have. Okay. God wants us to draw closer to Him. God wants us to use His love and His idea and mold of what a relationship should look like. And we want to apply it to the current relationship that we're trying to invest in and we're trying to cultivate. And so, therefore, you're going to use the date as an opportunity, as a stepping stone to get you further to that. Okay. And so I've been going through all of these topics, trying to show you that yes, some dates can be expensive. Yes, you will have kids. Yes, you're a single parent. Yes, you're a professional and it's hard. Yes, because of what happened in 2020 and 2021, and Lord, please let it be done by 2022, right? But because of the things that have happened, yes, the dating realm has changed, but if you go in there with a game plan, and if you go in there with the right tools and with the right intentions, then you can put dating back into a place that makes you feel excited, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like it's doable, and that makes you feel like it's necessary. It's necessary. A lot of people just toss it to the side because we get comfortable, right? And today, I want to talk to you guys about my bread and butter topic, if you heard me earlier today. And that is about whether or not you should go on dates in order to move on. So out of a show of hands out there, I don't know who's out there. I got part of this covered. Hey girl, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Out of a show of hands out there, tell me, let's take a poll right now. Let's take a poll. Write in the comments if you're YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or if you're on Instagram, write in the comments over here and tell me, do you think you need to go on dates in order for you to move on? In order for you to move on, you got to go on dates. How many of you guys have ever done that? I remember one time I had broke up with somebody. I was in college, right? I broke up with somebody and I was just miserable. I was miserable. I didn't want to do nothing. I wanted to stay at home. I wanted to put on sweatpants and boohoo myself to sleep. I just wanted to just do nothing. All right. And so I had some friends in college and they called me up and they're like, girl, just come over. Come over. Like we'll do spa days and we'll just watch movies and you don't need to be alone. Just come on. Come over. Come over. And I was like, I don't want to. I'm feeling really down. I just want to be in my feelings and I just don't want to do it. And they were like, just come on, just come over, come over. We'll keep it low. We'll be, everything will be great. And we'll be with you. I said, all right, fine. I go to my friend's house, right? These are two girls, they were roommates. Went to my friend's house. And I'm chilling, I'm in my sweats, I'm makeup is not done. I'm looking a hot mess because I'm crying all day long. And so I'm just expecting them to just be, compassionate to my needs. And they're just going to be the shoulder that I needed to cry on. And about an hour into me being in there, I see one of the girls like go into the bathroom, start doing her hair. And then I see the other girl like start like looking in her closet, like trying to find clothes. And I'm like, what y'all doing? What are you guys doing? Like, I thought we were gonna stay home. They were like, no, we going to a party. I was like, for what? Why? I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. And they made me go to a party. They made me go to a party. Did I have fun? No. Did I need to get out? Probably yes. Okay. Did I try to talk to people, other guys? Did I try to hook up in other dates? Did I try to move on from there? Yes, because I felt like society was pushing me in that direction. I felt like I this is what people should do. I went against my guts. I went against my instincts and I did what I thought people wanted me to do. And so therefore I took that event and I was like, well, I guess I should force myself to go out. I should force myself to move on. Right. And so then, one thing led to another. I'm minding my business, but now I'm getting a little more flirtatious. I'm getting more, open to talking to the opposite sex. I'm getting more open to, just having the conversation of what could be or what, as opposed to what was. And so I very, like, from that experience, I very quickly moved into a new relationship. I was not ready for a new relationship. I don't even think he was ready for a new relationship. Like, we were both coming out of these really serious relationships and then we just found each other. And at first, like, we're just friends, but then, it just turned into something else. And I think because of that, because of the baggage that we carried, because we were both not ready to move on, but yet we decided to date, it turned into something serious quick, and it turned into a mess soon after that. Okay. You could read all about it in the intro of my very first book, The Single Woman's Prayer Book. I dubbed it The Golden Ticket. And it was just a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. So the question that I have for you guys, for those of you guys who are joining in for the first time, my question is, do you believe you need to go on dates in order to move on? Do you believe you need to go on dates in order to move on? I'm going to give you a second to go ahead and jot that down. I'm going to take a sip of my hot chocolate. All right. It's pumpkin hot chocolate, which like makes me even more festive. It makes me even more want to be like, yes, I am going to drink this in November because that's what you're supposed to do, right? But not December. I'm going to have to throw them out in December because it's not pumpkin season. All right. So my answer for this question, will dates keep you from moving on? Let me go ahead and switch this out so I can see you guys on Instagram. Here we go. Will dates help you move on? I gotta hold on before I go. I just saw a comment came up. My gut instinct also doesn't want to go in. Oh wait, ready for the week to be over. No, go in the dates if my heart is still healing. But maybe if you actually find the right one, it will help. Okay, so you're thinking it depends on who you meet and who you're going on the dates with, right? That's fair. That's fair because my answer is also it's dependent on different variables. I'm going to go ahead and break those down in a second. There are 3 different things that this answer depends on. Okay? 3 different things. Usually when you think of will it help you move on, you automatically assume that it is you're moving on from a relationship, you're moving on from a person, right? You're thinking, oh, that person is trash, he broke up with me, he hurt me, and so therefore I need to go on some dates, I need to get involved with someone else, I need to, what is that Beyonce text? I can have another man in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute. That you got to beat him to the punch to show your ex or to show the person you broke up with that you can move on, that you are doing fine, and that everything will be fluid, and you're doing it better than they are, and so therefore you won. It's a game. At the end of the day, if you are going to move on under those circumstances, then you're playing a game. And if you're playing a game, then you're playing yourself. Okay. So I'm just going to put that there. The second, and I'll pin that because I'm going to come back to that. The second situation that you might be moving on from is maybe there was a situation in the relationship and things got kind of tense and things got kind of awkward, but you want to work on this relationship because you don't want to let it go. So, how can you move on from this thing that happened? Okay. Now, some people might be like, okay, this person cheated, but I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to stick beside him. Yep, that's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. That could be a situation. It could be as extreme as that, or it could be as extreme as, you guys had a heated debate about something that was you guys were both passionate about, and then you realize like, we don't want to toss what we have away because of this. So how can we move on? It could have been something else, something personal, something, something finances, or, you're, say for example, you're married and you just had a rough patch. You've just had a rough patch. We go through that. You could be the most happiest married couple in the world, and everybody is inspired by you and your relationship that you have with your husband. But do not forget and don't take it for granted that you guys are a perfect couple, because you guys are still human and the enemy is still out there and he's still trying to destroy you. Keyword, destroy you, like a meteorite destroys a planet. Yeah, that's what the enemy's trying to do. And so can dates help you move on from that kind of thing? Okay, that's second scenario. Third scenario is, what if you were trying to meet someone new? Okay, what if you're single, you're trying to meet someone new, and you go on some online dating sites, and they're not the best, but what are your options really? What more can you do? So you're going to put yourself out there and you're just going to say, speak Holy Spirit, find me the person. I put myself out there. I acted in faith. So now I'm going to believe, Holy Spirit, that you're going to find someone for me, right? So you go ahead and you go on a couple dates, and those dates are not how you intended them to go, right? Like, it just kind of makes you cringe. It just kind of makes you feel like, I don't even want to do this anymore. You know what? I'm just going to take my name out of this. I'm going to deactivate my account because these guys are crazy and I just don't want to do it anymore. So, will dates help you move on from that bad experience of going on first time dates with first time people? 3 scenarios on whether or not dates can help you move on. And in each scenario, there are different answers. And I'll cover each of those answers right now in this live. And I will share with you, there are 3 dates specifically written in this book, Christian Dating Adventures, a Couples Guide, that can help you move on depending on what your scenario is. Because I believe, like I said, I believe if you are moving towards a serious relationship, I should have looked this up. Again, I did not look this up. There is a verse in the Bible, and I don't even have my Bible down here. Makes me so mad. I know I have it in this book, but I'm not about to sit here and try to find it. You know what? I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to look it up because you guys need to know this, because I mentioned this in a live before and I should have jotted down the verse. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. If you're feeling what, there it is. Okay. I believe, okay, and I wrote this in this book, The Christian Woman's Guide to Dating. If you don't have this book, if you're single and you're trying to get back into the dating world, definitely pick this book up. This was my third published book. But I believe if you're trying to get to that ideal relationship, that ideal marriage, that desirable relationship that you have always longed for, that you have always dreamed of, that you have always prayed for. I believe if you reach that pinnacle of relationship status in your love life, then the following Bible verse will apply. And that verse is Genesis chapter 2, verses 25. Now the man and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame. If you want to model your relationship, your marriage after something, then model it after that verse. Now, the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. That's the New Living Translation. Why would you do that? Because you want to be naked, not necessarily take your clothes off and it's getting hot in here and take off all your clothes, none of that. But you want to be so open and transparent and vulnerable to your spouse that you have nothing to hide. Period. You have no feelings to hide. You have no emotions to hide. You have no thoughts or opinions to hide, because you guys should be at such a point of God's love reflected on you guys as man and wife that you should feel like you could be able to take anything to him, or he could be able to take anything to you, and there would be no shame in it. Period. Right? There would be no shame. And so I feel like you should model your entire relationship off of that. So I have some dates in here. Okay. I have some dates in here that are helping you move on. Okay. Depending on where your status is. And we'll cover that right now. Depending on where your status is. But the reason why I put those dates in here is because I want you to go on dates that would help expose you. I want you to be exposed. I want you to be exposed. Why? Because I want you to see for yourself if what you're trying to have in a relationship carries no shame and puts you in an opportunity where you can feel completely naked and open and have no shame in that. So I made it uncomfortable. I made these dates uncomfortable because I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary that every couple should have some kind of conversation or some kind of experience that would show you and that would help support you in knowing that you can be at that pinnacle level of being naked and not ashamed. All right. So, all right, let's go back. Let's go back to the first scenario. And again, if you guys have questions, if you guys have comments, if you guys have anything that you want to say to get off your chest, feel free to type it in the comments section, or feel free to ask a question in the question box if you're watching me on Instagram. All right. So here we go. Scenario number one, you're moving completely on from a relationship, from a person. Like you're just dunzo. I don't want to see this person anymore. This person is not in my life anymore. The relationship, is completely just done. Don't ask me about it. We're moving on, completely moving on. And how do you do that? I'm going to go on a date. Here's why people think that. And again, remember, this is my bread and butter because I've been through this before. I've been through this scenario. So I'm going to tell you from my experience. And if you feel it and if you can resonate with it, then give me some hearts, give me some snaps, give me some claps, some thumbs up, or say, oh, yes, that's right. I feel you, girl. I need to know because I know I'm not the only one who's felt this before. The reason why you think you need to move on by going on dates when you're feeling that way is because you feel like by you not taking action, by you not making moves in this area of your life, you are not evolving and growing. You feel stagnant, you feel stuck, you feel like everything around you is moving forward and you're not, because you're hurting and you're broken, and what used to be your plans are all fell through. Your future, everything fell through, and so now you feel stuck, and so you're trying to force force yourself to feel unstuck by moving yourself in a direction that you think is best, because that's what society tells you, right? Society tells you you gotta get a rebound. Society tells you, oh, just have fun. Society tells you, oh, just go out, just have a good time. You never know. You never know. You know who knows? You know who knows? God. God knows. God knows what you're doing. God knows where your heart is. God knows that you're broken. You need to be going to Him first before you go on to a date. And unless God is really telling you, like, go, confirmation, go. I'm telling you to go. Like, unless you get that, you should probably date yourself. You should probably date yourself. What do I mean by that? Is that pathetic? No, I used to go on dates all the time. There's a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And The Artist's Way is more so a book to help you gain your creativity and help explore creativity. You know, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, if you're anything where you need to be creative. And it tells you to go on artist dates where you're basically dating yourself so that you can see the world and you can explore and you can take time to slow down and appreciate what's around you and appreciate what God is giving you as the creator. So that way you could turn that into a creation back to Him. Right. So anyways, whole nother discussion, but you want to date yourself. You want to be able to be in a place where here's the test. If you can talk to a total stranger about what happened and about how your ex person hurt you without feeling the emotion tied to what happened and how he hurt you or how she hurt you, then you know that you're no longer in that hurt phase. You're no longer in that offensive phase. And then you know that you are strong enough to proceed on with the process of the grief and the process of transitioning out of that chapter and into something new. Okay. A lot of the times people don't want to talk about it, right? Because again, it brings up old feelings, it brings up stale feelings, and then it makes you feel like, I don't need to talk about this with somebody new. However, what you are doing by not talking about this is you're carrying this baggage and nobody knows why this baggage is here, but you don't want to talk about it, right? Because you're still hurt from it. You have not moved past it. If you can't talk about it, you haven't moved past it. And if you haven't moved past it, that means you're secretly carrying it. And if you're secretly carrying it, then it doesn't matter who this next person is. It doesn't matter how awesome the dates are. This baggage will somehow show up in a negative way and it will affect what you're trying to build. You have to start from the ground up. Okay. So if you're trying to go on dates and you can't even express or talk about what happened in the past, then you probably should not go on dates yet. Okay. You should not go on date unless you're dating yourself, unless you're going somewhere to just rediscover you. You need to go through a rediscover phase. Okay. In my signature process, there is a review to restoration phase. There's 8 steps. And I'm not going to talk about this right now because that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But in the process, there is a recovery step. There's a rediscover step, discovering who you are. And then there's a redefinition of what your love life should look like now that you're healed, right? So these are all different steps. I go through them through my coaching services, but we're not there yet. Okay. Right now, we're here about moving on. And my opinion is you got to keep the dates to a very bare minimum until you can fully heal, until you can say that you healed, until you can talk about what happened without crying, until you can talk about what happened without speaking negatively about that person, until you can talk about what happens without like a tone, a tone of I'm the victim or this hurts me or this makes me angry without making yourself boil over, you know what I mean? Then you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready to meet someone new. You're not ready to go on to a new experience with someone. And like I said, it's only going to bite you in the butt later on if you continue to pretend that you don't need to address that. You always want to address it, especially if you're trying to do something better. Okay. If you're just still playing the game of dating and meeting people, I remember one time I had somebody say that they broke up with a long term boyfriend. And I was like, oh my God, how are you doing? Is everything okay? And she said, I have like 6 or 7 dates lined up already from Tinder, in the next 3 weeks. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool. I mean, that's cool if that's how you feel. But me, honestly speaking, now that I see what's going on, now that I've read everything and learned all of these things, too much, too early, too soon. And if you don't resolve what you're feeling deep inside, then it's going to be too late when you meet the right person at the right time. Okay. So that's what I say. So to move on from a full relationship or a full person, dating is not the way to go. Dating is not the way to go. Let's talk about um, the second scenario. What if there was a situation within the relationship that you're trying to move on from? Okay, there was a disagreement, there was an argument, there was an altercation, there was a misunderstanding, there was a miscommunication, there was a trialing season, right? And you want to get back to getting better, okay? Let's don't wait till the waters run dry. The Boys the Men song, right? You wanna fix it before it gets bad, right? Before it goes from bad to worse, before it goes from worse to ugly. Will dates help you? My answer, drum roll please. The answer is yes. Yes, dating will help you if you do it intentionally. Don't just go to the movies and go to Red Lobster and not talk, but then just assume, oh well, we were together all day and we're still feeling, it's still kind of tense. It's still kind of, eventually you're gonna have to talk. But luckily for you, I have a couple dates in here that could help you. One of those dates, I'll talk about it right now, is called Second Chance. One of the dates in here is called Second Chance. Now, this date I wanted to put in here because sometimes it is a misunderstanding. Sometimes what your guys are going through in your relationship is so basic, is so surface based that you allow it to destroy something you've worked so hard to do. Now, listen, disclaimer alert, okay? If there was an assault, if there was hands on hands, if there is something that is putting you in danger, then by all means, there is no kind of date that will stop you from getting to a safe place. There is no kind of date that will resolve that. You need to get help professionally. Do not use my book as the advice and the counselor and the end all be all. You need to seek help. You need to seek some a team that will help you get to a safe place. You need to do that immediately. All right. So that's just my disclaimer. But for everything else, for everything that's a little bit more light, you had an issue. There was just a disagreement and you're upset. I'm upset. I remember when I was dating Kyle, I would be upset for days, days. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Don't text me. I'm not going to text you back. But I knew I loved this dude and I knew he was a good dude and I knew I was a good woman. So at some point, you got to move on from it. At some point, you got to figure this out. How do you do that? I'm going to share with you this sample date. Okay. It's called Second Chance. Now, if you don't know what this book is about, first of all, I'm going to explain to you every single book, every single date. There's 65 dates total. Every single date has at least is a 2-pager. Okay. And in these 2 pages of a description of a date, it's broken down to 7 parts. You have a scripture, you have the date description, you have the devotional, you have what this date is good for, you have tips to help make the date better, you have a level up so that you can take your dates up a level, take it up a notch. And then you have your talking points. All right. So I want to go through this real quickly, just sharing with you a few of the snippets that could show you how a second chance date could help you move on when you are in a serious relationship or a marriage and you want to overcome a trial that has occurred in that relationship. Okay. So here we go. The scripture here is Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. And the scripture shows, make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Okay? That's a good verse, right? That's a good verse. So here we go. Let's talk about the description of the date. Recreate a date during which something went terribly wrong between you and your date. Repeat every single step that led up to the mishap, but this time make things right, such as taking a different action or rephrasing something you said. Whatever you wish you could have done then, do it now. So just do a redo. Do a redo. Only this time make it right, right? Only this time talk about it. Only this time make sure that what you're saying and what is going on is the right thing you should have said. You know, how many times do you go through a date and just totally racking your brain? Hold on. I just realized that I had a audio issue here. Hold on. Let me just, and then I could just, and then we'll just, and then we could just, hey girl, hey. How many guys in your life have just felt like something happened in the date, and then it happened, and it was awkward, and you guys went about your way, and then you're like, man, if only I could have just said this, if only I could have just done this, man. I wish I had the words to say this at this time. I wish I would have did this differently, man. I just can't believe. And then you have to just move on. So why don't you just redo it? Just redo it. All right. So what is the word? This is the devotional that ties the scripture to the date, and it follows. No matter what you do, God is willing and ready to forgive us and restore us every time. If God can forgive all our faults and failings, we should be able to practice the same principles towards the people we love. Although it might not be easy, it's essential if you wish to see your relationship grow and stay stronger over time. There's a lot more that goes into this description and this devotional, but I'm going to let you read that when you order the book, which P.S. you guys can go ahead and order this book by using this caption here. All right. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you can go on the bit.ly/Christian Dating Adventures. For you guys on Instagram, you can go ahead and check out the link in my bio, and that will help you. There we go. Get the book. It is available anywhere books are sold. So you can go on Amazon, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, wherever you want to go to buy the book. The link in the bio has the Amazon link as well as my personal online shop link. So you guys can go ahead and do this. This is a great place for you guys to buy this book. So anyways, going back to the date. What is this date good for? It's good for trust. Okay, maybe some trust was broken the first time around. You got to move past that, right? So you want to build up your communication because maybe you need to talk and you just haven't been able to talk. And please, 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 do not do this over a text. Do not do this over email. Do not have the serious conversations over text. Do not have the serious conversations over email. I don't care. I don't care if you guys are busy. I don't care if you two ships passing in the sea. Do not do this over a text or an email. It needs to be done right. Grow up and do it the right way and talk to this person face to face. Why? Because do you care about this person? Do you want them to know that you care about this person? Do you want them to see what you're feeling when you're saying what you're saying? Do you want them to understand your body language when you're saying what you're saying? Or do you want them to come up with their own offended, hurt wound assumptions of what you think you're saying? Okay? Please do yourself a solid and do this the right way. So this is going to help you with communications because it's going to allow you to talk about what happened and how you can make that right. Okay. Vulnerability, because now you got to be humble. Now you got to remove your pride. Now you got to forgive. Okay. As hard as it is for someone to own up to their mistake, it is just as hard for the other person to accept the apology and to forgive them. Okay, listen. Y'all done got me in here. Y'all done got me in here. There are 2 steps to fixing a wrong when it comes to a relationship. Okay. 2 steps. Number 1, you're going to ask for an apology. You're going to ask, Will you forgive me? I'm sorry. Saying I'm sorry is not enough. Saying I'm sorry is not enough. You can't just be like, I'm sorry, and then expect that person to be okay and you guys could just move on because you accepted the apology, but do you forgive them? It's a two-way, it's a two-factor thing. Okay. So you can ask for the apology, you could say the apology. Okay. Let them know that you're sorry for what happened and how you feel. You can own up to it. Okay, you're right. You're right. This happened. I did. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm okay. Say what you got to say, but then ask for the forgiveness. Will you forgive me? Will you forgive me? It's a two parts. Okay? You have to be willing to forgive. And a lot of the times people just say I'm sorry and then they move on. And you're just like, "Okay, well, I accept your apology, but I don't forgive you." You might not even say that, but you might be feeling it. Okay. So before you can move on, make sure you get the two parts. Unconditional love, especially if you're married. Remember, naked and unashamed. Unconditional love. Do you love this person enough to just move past this, to walk away from this experience, knowing what you know that you have and what you have in each other and what you feel in each other, and knowing what God has put together? No man is going to separate. Can you move on? Can you move on? This date is trying to help you do just that. Let's talk about some tips because it's a pretty hard date, right? I'm going to share with you 2 of the 5 tips because I want you to get the book. Tip number 1, make sure both of you are comfortable conducting this date so that you can avoid any triggers of pain, of trauma, or wounds that have yet to heal. If you messed up, if you're in a serious relationship, and if you messed up, don't try to recreate this date tomorrow, the next day, the next weekend. Don't, no. You got to wait to make sure you guys are on peaceful terms before you could be like, now it's time to make it right. Okay? Don't do it when the wounds are flesh because you will get cussed out. Okay? You will get walked away from. Okay? You're going to get the raw emotion. And you never want to have any kind of reconciliation when emotions are still hot and heated. It will not end well because you're still going to be in your feelings. Okay? Number 2, write out what you felt during the first date and what you wish would have happened. And then read the note during the second date. Okay? Because maybe it's hard to speak in the when you're on the spotlight. So maybe you write it down, you jot it down, and then you just read it. You just let past version of you read in the present moment and let it be that. All right? And then there's a level up and then there's talking points because obviously there's a lot of talking going on with this date. Question number 1, are you willing to forgive your date? Remember I said forgive is that second part. Forgive your date for offending, embarrassing, or hurting you. Are you willing to forgive your date for offending, embarrassing, or hurting you? Think about it. Did you feel going into this? How did you feel going into this second chance date? How did you feel after redoing the date? And then there's one other question in here. I don't want to get into it. This is just one way to help you move on if it's worth moving on. Will dates help you? Yes, but you have to make them intentional. You have to be open to how people feel. You have to be ready to accept apologies and to extend forgiveness, right? And then you have to not hold on to the grudge. Leave it in the past. Leave it in the past, right? Um, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Another date that you can use when you're in this kind of setting is called relationship retreat. I spoke about this date, I believe on Tuesday. I spoke about this. I don't even know what my topic was on Tuesday. Oh, does it get any easier? Right. And relationship retreat is basically when you take a full day, in a nutshell, you take a full day and you uncover all of the things that are keeping you from growing and extending your relationship and taking it to the next level. along with some other things. I'm not going to share it all, but you can find it. You can find it in the book whenever you get your copy. So those are some dates that will help you move on when you're in a serious relationship and you need to move on from something that happened in that relationship. The third thing that could possibly make you think that going on dates will help you move on is experiencing a lot of first time bad dates. Okay. Let me go ahead and get some hot chocolate. Are you guys feeling me right now? Are you guys hearing me right now? Is this good information for you? Is this something that is um pouring into something that you've been longing to hear or learn about? Let me know in the comments. Give me the hearts, give me the thumbs up. All right. The third thing is this a bad date? You've gone on one too many dates. It's just not good. You're done. You're over it. I don't want to go on dates anymore. I can't stand dates because I always run into the wrong people and it's just not healthy. And it's stressful and I'm just not ready to date anymore. I mean, I was, but I'm not. And now I just feel kind of like I'm losing hope in this and it's just not the right timing and I'm just going to walk away. Right? Should you go on dates? You're not going to like me. You're not going to like me when I say this, but I believe the answer is yes. I believe the answer is yes. You go on dates. You go on dates. What do you Okay, so this is the issue. This is the issue is with every bad date that you go on, you should be learning from those bad dates, right? You should be learning about the type of person that you said yes to the first time. You should be learning about the activity or the experience that you went to that made it a bad date. You should be thinking about the red flags that you felt or the gut feelings that you felt or the instincts that you felt that made you uncomfortable or made you feel like it was a bad date to begin with. And you should be taking that into consideration the next time you do your screening to go on another date with another person. And if you're not going to do that, if all you're doing is checking, yes, okay, he said he's available, so I'm going to go on the date. If you're not going to do the screening process with the lessons applied, then all you're going to do is repeat what you just went through. And so therefore you're going to keep running into the same issues, which is insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And so, of course, you're going to hate dates. Of course, you're going to be sorry about them. Of course, you're going to hate dating sites. Are you doing anything to switch up your screening process? Are you doing anything to switch up whether or not this is a good person to even make it to the dating round? The online dating is like a dating game. Okay, you have this huge pool of people and then you subtract some based on some qualities, and then you subtract some based on some conversations, and then you subtract some based on the dates, and then you keep reducing and reducing and trimming and trimming and trimming the fat until therefore you find some compatible people worth looking into when it comes to having a serious thing moving forward. But if you're not even going to do that process, if all you're doing is just saying, yes, he's saying yes, he's reaching out to me. Ooh, he's cute. Okay, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it is affecting you in a major way when it comes to going on these dates. Switch up your profile. Switch up your conversation questions before you say yes to going on a date. You can avoid going on a bad date. You can avoid it. You can avoid it. You can avoid it by the amount of time between you introducing yourself to the time you say yes to having a date. You can avoid it by the questions you're asking in the chat box before you say, yes, I'm going to go on a date. You can avoid it by completely switching up your profile, completely switching up your description, completely switching up. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm looking for. And yes, there are some guys out there that are shady. And yes, they're going to lie about what they're saying just so they could get closer to you, just so they could go past the rounds. But you're going to have Holy Spirit with you, she giving you guidance, giving you wisdom, giving you discernment, letting you know, that's a good feeling, or that ain't a good feeling, or I feel peace about this, or I don't feel nothing. I feel very confused about this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to invest in yourself and your qualities, and you have to trust yourself to know what is good and what is not good for you, and stop saying yes to all the dates. Okay? If this is an issue that you're having, if this is the part that's like, oh, I need to work on this area, then get this book, The Christian Woman's Guide to Dating. This is everything you need to do to prepare yourself for going on dates and to help set yourself up for those first time dates, what to ask, what questions to think about, what values do you have, what to consider, all of those things. This is going to be the book for you. And then once you get through that book, and once you start seeing, okay, now I'm starting to find some guys that are into me and I'm into them for the right reasons. And now I'm starting to be interested in them for these specific things. And now everything's really starting to align. And it's not just about looks, and it's not just about, how comfortable it is. And it's not just about how compatible we are according to what this thing says, right? Now you're feeling like, okay, this actually feels like it could work. Then you pull this out, the Christian Dating Adventures book out, right? Then you start looking into this book. And then what ends up happening is you want to go on dates that are not going to pull you into a situation that is too serious too quick, right? You want to go on some of the easy level dates, right? Some of those easy level dates on every single one of these chapters. There's 7 chapters in this book, and on every single one of these chapters, you're going to see it escalate from easy dates to difficult dates, easy dates and cheap dates, and dates that anyone can do regardless of how long you've known this person, to dates that are for serious couples with serious budgets, with serious planning skills, okay, with serious time and attention, that want to take things to a new level. Okay, so you're going to go on some of those first level dates with these people, and then you're going to test the waters. There's literally a date in here called Deep Waters. You can go on that date. Another date that I really want you to go on, if you're in this situation, if you feel like, man, dating is just not for me and I'm tired of it. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to go on this date because Selena told me to go on this date. This is the date for you. You want to go onto the date, page 76. It's called There's History Here. There's history here. Okay. I'm just going to read the description for you. Did you know that yes, here we go. There's history here. Did you know that there are more museums in the United States than McDonald's and Starbucks combined? Celebrate history by visiting a local museum together. It could be a natural history museum or a historical exhibit that focuses on your city or town. Have fun exploring, and as you are learning about the past, discuss with your date their history when it comes to love, relationships, and their faith. Okay, so if you had an issue with dates in the past, if you had an issue with that relationship from scenario 1, if you have an issue with a person that just hurt you and you're just like, I'm trying to get through this, but really, honestly, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. This is the day for you, because it's going to help you uncover what it is that's keeping you in that mindset. And it's going to help you determine if dating is the right thing for you to do to help you move on and to help you get into your next transition, your next chapter in your life. Okay. I'm not going to share the rest of this date with you, but you have enough information to know that this is a hot and heavy conversation, and you got to be ready for that. And if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready to go on a date. You're not moving on. You're not moving on. If you can't talk about it, which brings me back to the beginning of this conversation. If you can't talk about it, then you're not ready to move on. All right. So those are my examples for this date. There's also a bunch of dates here that can help you improve your trust if you're having trouble moving on. So there's dates, like I said, Deep Waters was one of them. All Things New was another date that I mentioned in this book that talks about trust. There are a bunch of dates in here to help you build that trust. So to recap, will dates help you move on? All right. If you're trying to move on from a relationship or person, it depends on where you're at when it comes to that offense, that hurt, that pain, and whether or not you can openly talk about it, openly discuss it, openly share your lessons and apply those lessons. Number 2, if it's a situation within the relationship and you just need to move past that situation, then yes, dates are going to be something to help you go past that, as long as those dates are intentional, as long as you're ready to forgive and apologize, and as long as you're ready to move past with mind, body, heart, spirit, right? if you're trying to move on from bad dating experiences, right? Then I said, yes, you should go on dates because it's going to help you filter out what is best for you moving forward. Okay. If all you're going to do is say all the guys are bad, then guess what you're going to run into? A bunch of bad guys, right? You have to keep going on these dates to determine what you like, what you don't like, what you're feeling, what you're not feeling, what's a good vibe, what's a not a good vibe, what is Holy Spirit telling you to do, and what is Holy Spirit telling you not to do. And the only way you're going to do that is by stepping out, walking, taking action. Okay. So, questions. Are there any questions today before we wrap this up? Once again, you can get Dating Christian Adventures, a couple's guide on Amazon. You can get in the link in my bio. You have a bit.ly link here, Christian Dating Adventures, for those of you guys who are on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. For Instagram, just go to the link in my bio. I got 2 links there for you guys to shop around and get your dating book in your hands sometime in the near future. If you go to my online shop, there will be a personal added touch to the book. You're not just going to get the book. You're going to get a prayer. You're going to get an autograph, a signed book, which you can't get anywhere else. You're going to be able to get a couple swags and a couple more goodies in relation to my online shop, where you can get my other books, the Christian Woman's Guide to Dating, and my prayer books as well. So be on the lookout for that if that's the place you choose to shop at. Any questions? Any questions? Before we wrap this up, I just want to go ahead and say thank you for joining me. I want to go ahead and say I appreciate you guys for making this an incredible launch week. Okay. And I just want to say that I enjoy doing these lives. Do you guys like the lives? Because I know that the holiday season is coming up. I definitely want to continue doing them. Every single day, though, probably not. Okay. But I do want to continue to give you guys content and information in the form of this live feed. So if you like it, give me the hearts or share in the comments or DM me. Let me know that this helped you, spoke to you, and you want to see more of that. So that way I can plan those to come your way in the near future. All right. But until then, if you guys are just catching the tail end of this and you have no idea who I am, then let me go ahead and reintroduce myself, okay? For those of you guys who are watching, wherever you're watching, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Selina Almodovar. I'm a Christian relationship author and coach, and I encourage women, teach women, show women, and motivate women to apply their faith to creating desirable relationships, to creating desirable love lives, to creating that ideal marriage. I want you to take your faith and I want you to take everything that it is within the personal relationship that you have with God. And I want you to be able to apply that to every other relationship in your life. I want to show you how to do that through my products, through my services, and through my time here with you guys online. All right. I had a wonderful time here. And if you are catching the tail end of this live, then there will be a replay on Instagram and on Facebook. So be on the lookout for that. All right. I love you guys. God bless you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Go on some dates. If you go on some dates from the book, then take a selfie and tag me. I want to see it. Okay. I want to hear what your favorite dates are. If you got the book, write a review. I want to hear how you enjoying this book. Okay. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to rest. I'm going to enjoy my weekend, and I will see you guys again next week. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right.